Hi everybody, welcome to Revitalize ReConnect Meets, where I get the opportunity to meet a business entrepreneur and a key influencer from across the UK business community. And today I've got the great privilege to be with a fellow Revitalize Business Club member and also business owner to UK Will Writing. This gentleman has had previous roles from everything as a barman, a van driver, a paraplanner, report writer, to a fully qualified independent financial advisor for 12 years, a workplace pension expert for 4 years, and a professional will writer and estate planner since 2018. At school, his report would have read, "Could have done better." But as we all know, at different stages in life, and finding your motivation point is the key to his experience. Here is 3 did you know unique selling points to this gentleman who I'm going to be interviewing today. Plain English documents for clients. A copy of the will is converted to a plain English version so clients can understand everything. A will clarity statement. He asks more in-depth questions to produce a legally binding statement confirming mental capacity. Upon death, the statement makes the will watertight and highly unlikely to see a successful counterclaim on the estate. And number 3, he offers a white label service for other business owners who want to be seen to offer his services under their banner. He's got many experiences, much more experiences in there. He's been in business for over 30 years, but 2 years in his current business, and that is the UK Will Writing. Can you please welcome with us today the one, but yes, the only, Mr. Lee Nadalutti. Lee, how are you today?
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm feeling great, actually. You know, and we share a fantastic first name as well.
We do indeed, Lee. Lee, would you mind letting everybody know who is listening and watching today a bit about your business, an overview, a synopsis of your business?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah, absolutely happy to, Lee. Yeah. My business, it started in anger in 2018. UK Will Writing was born of a passion of mine. That I will cover very shortly. But in essence, UK Will Writing, what it does exactly what it says on the tin. UK Will Writing is that I write wills throughout the UK. Now, I specialise in Scots and English law. A lot of people won't know they're extremely different. They have a lot of little quirks, individual quirks, so you really need to know your stuff. And it's not just wills that we write. Obviously, I deal with trusts, that's protecting assets upon death. You know, powers of attorney, very important for people if they lose mental capacity. Funeral plans as well. You know, they're very important this day and age because the price is going through the roof, and it's likely to go through the roof for the next 20 years. So I tend to speak to clients. There's 2 things really what a will writer does. You've got one camp where a will writer can actually be an instruction taker. That's basic instructions. You tell somebody what they want, they write the instructions down, produce a document for you. I go into a lot more detail than that. I ask a lot of personal questions, pertinent questions. I cover all the what-if scenarios, all the things that clients have never ever even thought of, and I give them the expertise and my advice on that. So yeah, been going now just short of 2 years. Been very productive. And again, there's a need for it because, as we say, 2/3 of the UK population still don't have a will in place. So very important thing to do. And again, you know, I'm always there to offer that advice for people.
It's quite astounding how many people do not have a will in place, and usually later in life that we find out, Lee, as well.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. You know, I've got a saying. I probably won't bore everybody with it, but you know, I say to people, everybody insures their homes, everybody insures their cars, we even insure our pets, but very seldom do we insure our future families. So
very true indeed. Now we're talking about achievements, and I asked you prior, and we're talking about it before we sort of joined on today, really, to start the recording. But you've got many achievements that encapsulate a bit about a diploma and a bit about your granddad. Would you mind sharing with everybody who's listening and watching a bit about those achievements that you've had over the last fair few years?
Yeah, 30 years, an awful long time. Showing my age right now, but I'm still with us. So, yeah, the real. A lot of people say to me, "How on earth can you be passionate about death?" and talking about death. You know, you get 15, 20 minutes stage to talk about death. And I'm very, very passionate about it because, you know, I'll be completely honest, you know, I grew up, mum was a single parent, grew up in Guildford, which everybody thinks the streets are paved with gold, but a council estate in Guildford's the same as a council estate anywhere. You know, you grow up, you grow up, and don't get me wrong, I didn't go without at all. But me and my mum also lived with my grandparents, and it come to about, you know, I kind of drifted through life. I could have done a lot better at school, and I just felt that I didn't learn very well at school, and we'll come on to that in a little while. But 1987, my gran, who was from Italy, she sadly passed away. And in 1996, my granddad followed. Now, me, myself, and my granddad owned our own property together. Okay, we all had a third share. My granddad died in 1996, never had a will. You know, I'd never really come across wills because I was 25, 26 at the time, didn't know nothing about them. Unfortunately, he died intestate, which basically means you die without a will, and you then have to go through obviously the probate process, and obviously the estate is then settled in accordance with intestate rules. Now, unfortunately, my granddad, it soon transpired, had a number of debts, and those debts were actually legal charges against the property. There was a small property in Italy that had to be dealt with, but the long and short of it was it took just under 3 years for probate to be completed. The cost of probate was about £15,000, and the granddad's debts were over 100 grand. The house was valued at 95k. The house was eventually sold, and myself and my mum were made homeless. And because of that, it was a massively, massively traumatic time. And literally something just clicked with me. And from that day forward, I thought to myself, look, I don't want anybody else to go through that trauma, that anxiety, and that suffering, and go for the emotional roller coaster, which it was on a month-to-month basis. So I decided to get my butt in gear and do something about it. So what did I do? I thought, I'll tell you what, you know, people need to be financially aware of their own situations, and ultimately they need to be aware of the probate process and everything that goes with that. So I decided, in my wisdom, just become a financial advisor. And so I had a look around at jobs that were on offer, and applied to be a trainee. I had no experience. Approached the company, showed them I was really committed, really wanted to do this, and I sat all the professional exams off my own back. They offered to pay for them. I said, no, I'm going to do this myself. So I took all the exams at the Chartered Institute of Insurers, become diploma qualified as an IFA within 2.5 years, and also sat professional will writing course, and also I can also deal with probate, so I'm professionally qualified for probate as well, although I don't practice that at the moment. So I sat all those exams over a very, very short period, 3 years, and then decided to become a financial advisor so I can actually help people plan for their futures. And that's very, very much. So my why really centers around that event around my granddad passing away. And it's invoked a passion in me where I think everybody in the UK or everybody in the world should actually have a will. If you've got something to protect it, because the pitfalls from not having that in place, you know, I just go back to my own story and I can relate to that. And I quite often relay that to clients myself to get them to fully understand what can go wrong if you don't have things put in place.
That's very true. And it's the hardest part is though it's hindsight. You know, we look at hindsight all the time, Lee, and thanks very much for sharing that. It's, you know, you've been through a certain stage of your life, but it's also molded to who you are right now, and actually how you portray that to other people at the same time and help them. But also congratulations on your diploma and taking the bull by the horns, or taking the reins and pushing on forward, because life could be a lot different if you hadn't done that at that point in your life. No,
it has indeed, and I'm a strong advocate, as well as the fact is that we all learn at different stages of life, and let's be honest, we're all constantly learning as well. You know, we're learning in business, personal lives. We don't always do well at school when we should be, because that environment's not ideal for everybody, and it just goes to show, you know, mid-20s to 30s was obviously my foresight and obviously my moment for learning. And so I kind of embraced it and have been embracing it ever since.
Superb. So we talked about achievements and we talked about a bit about learning there. And I would like now for you to cast your mind back of when you began your business, maybe not 30 years or plus back, but say a couple of years back for UK will writing. And what would you say to anybody who's out there listening and watching today, who's ready to start their own business, an inspiring entrepreneur like yourself? What would you have said to yourself back then to help you on your business journey? What golden tip of advice would you offer to somebody or offer to yourself back at the beginning?
Yeah, I think the one interesting thing is when you start a business on your own. You know, I did. Obviously, will writing was very much part of what I've done for the last 20 years. You know, it's encompassed parts of the jobs I've been doing. But when you start your own business, it can be a very, very steep learning curve. Obviously, you very much have to be a jack of all trades. You know, obviously, you know, you're effectively the printer, the accountant, the salesperson, the appointment maker, as well as actually seeing clients, and obviously the breadwinner as well. So my real pertinent piece of advice would be always seek advice from other people, networking groups, etc. Any people, friends, family as well. Take everything on board. You know, be that sponge and actually suck all the information in. Really, I would also say trust your gut instinct. You know, in life, I've always been a little bit of a procrastinator, and quite often I will analyse a problem, think I'm doing things right, go back, think about it 10 times over, and then go back to my original decision anyway. So, you know, it's very much of that thought process. So go very much with your gut instinct, because it's quite often right, to be perfectly honest. And the one real piece of advice I would say to anybody starting a business is go and network. Network your connections, get in front of as many people as you can, even obscure groups as well. The more people you talk to, the more people get to know you. And it's all about getting to know people. And that's not just speaking to people once, but speaking to them regularly, so people can really understand who you are and understand your business, but also your passion, you know, because if you're in a business and you don't have passion, a lot of business will fail. So you need to be very, very passionate and focused about your business. So that'd be my golden tip.
I think you're right as well. There's many people. I was talking about it this week, actually, Lee, and asking for help is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Networking, many people feel it. I feel like I want to share this as well, as they'll go to one and that'll be it. They'll leave it a few months and go back again. But there's a word you used in there slightly as consistency, but persistence in achieving what you want to achieve and setting the right objectives, being out and about. And if you're not visible and you're not asking for help regularly, it makes your journey a little bit harder. But when you become, I love that when you say you come in a sponge, take it all in, and also thinking, do you know what? I'm going to go for it because you can, and believe in yourself to do it. So 100%, Lee, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would definitely advocate that, because, you know, we go into business, and the best will in the world, you know, we don't know everything. You know, we may be an expert in our particular field, but running a business has so many different facets. Is that, you know, the key is use the other experts in the field who can do that job for you, and concentrate on your own stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Surround yourself with the right people who will lift you to the next plane. So with everything that's gone on presently, and especially with the last 11 weeks, we're all trying to embrace now the power of Zoom that we're on today, and having these conversations. How have you diversified your business, if any, over the last 11 weeks? Or how have you changed your business to adapt to the new environments? What's been the biggest changer for you?
Yeah, the biggest change for me, obviously, first and foremost, unlike most businesses, it can be a little bit more difficult for me to adapt to change, because we are bound by legal constraints. So obviously all the documents I produce are legally binding. So I'm bound by the rules of the Law Society of Scotland and the Law Society of England as well, and the government as well. So sometimes you're a little bit hamstrung, but what's become very, very apparent is, generally speaking, 99% of my client interactivity, obviously before February, March time, was very much face to face. So then obviously moving to the online world, as I've had to embrace that very, very quickly. It's something I wasn't used to before, but now I'm completely used to it now, and I've got the processes in place. So it's adapting and tweaking your business as you go, because the one thing in business, if you stand still, you get left behind. And that's been so prevalent over the last 3 to 4 months. I've been lucky in what I do, is that I've been able to work through the last 3 or 4 months. You know, a lot of businesses have had to close down and obviously shut temporarily. But I've been one of the lucky few that can actually deal with matters on a day-to-day basis. So, and again, what I have also done is I've been able to refer clients to others that I know as well. So referrals have been an extremely strong point for me as well. And because I'm still talking to people, talking to clients, they have needs. I've actually seen other businesses who could potentially struggle, and I've been able to help those guys out by saying, look, I know somebody who can help you, and that's some great business for them.
Yeah. And I think it's right. You've got to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Because you've got to keep pedaling. You've got to keep pushing forward, because as you come out the other side, your business will be similar, but it'll be adapted to a different level as such. And I think the recommendations and the helping one another, that support line is extremely crucial in what you've been providing, Lee. So thanks for sharing that. Really appreciate it. So what's next? So what is next now for Lee and UK Will Writing? What's the next door of opportunity? The next level, plateau, however you want to call it. What's next for Lee?
For me, it's very much baby steps. You know, my business is just coming up for 2 years old. So let's be honest, in business terms, that's in its infancy. So it's steady growth for me. Sail the ship through calm waters rather than going out to a tropical storm, to be perfectly honest. So I want to see steady, persistent growth over the next 5 years. I've got a 5, 10, 15 and 20-year business plan. They are forever changing, but I've got my goals and I've got my sights firmly set. And it's basically not to do anything really dramatic. And effectively, I just want to organically grow the business. And basically get to a level where my name's out there, and I would love to become, eventually over the next 5 years, the go-to person, obviously, for estate planning advice.
No, definitely. I think you will achieve that, because what you're doing at the moment, and I'll have to applaud you, because you keep the momentum, like we said before, the momentum moving forward, and you will become that go-to person. It's also great that you've got the sort of the 5, the 10, the 20 plan in place of how you want to achieve it and when you're going to do it. So no, you will. What's next is coming is going to be glorious for you, Lee, well and truly, for the work ethic that you're putting in.
Let's hope so.
It will be. So with everybody listening and watching today, how can people make contact with Lee to find out more about everything you spoke about, tap into experience, the connections? How can they make contact with you at the start of the conversation?
Yeah, well, making contact with me is actually quite easy. Actually, you know, I'm very approachable. You know, so you can contact me on many forms. Obviously, web presence, ukwillwriting.com. I'm clearly on LinkedIn. Obviously, my LinkedIn profile is under LinkedIn. The personal one is Lee Nadalutti, nice and simple. And LinkedIn is obviously UK-Will-Writing. Very easy to find. Facebook presence, Twitter as well. And of course, you can also contact me with the old-fashioned way on the telephone as well. Best numbers there, 0141 212 6345. And of course, the mobile, 07384 711 305. But I'm very approachable, happy to talk to anybody. I also give people free advice and heads up on certain things, you know. So I'm not one of these people who charge by the hour or charge by the minute, you know. If there's a job to do, somebody we do it. If not, I'm happy to tell them, look, you're better off going somewhere else, or look, go and seek advice there. Look. And my job is to try and make things easy for people.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's looking at authenticity and genuine advice, Lee. So thank you for sharing that. I would highly recommend everybody who's listening today and watching today to reach out to Lee to find out about his estate planning and how he can assist you with planning your will for your future. And if you haven't got one, just give him a call, have the conversation. Like you said, contact him on that good old-fashioned telephone, make the connection, make the conversation, and find out how you can help one another out, and especially with Lee. Lee, I just want to say a big thank you for you spending the time with me today at ReConnect Meets, and I really wish you all the very best for the future. I look forward to supporting you further within the business club as well.
Lovely. No, thanks for your time, Lee, and thank you very much for the opportunity and also speaking to you as well. So it's been a great pleasure.
No trouble at all, Lee. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening today, and stay tuned for the next ReConnect Meets interview, which is coming up in the next few weeks. If you want to find out more of previous interviews with many business entrepreneurs from across the UK, why don't you subscribe to this podcast or YouTube channel? Myself and Lee look forward to seeing you again very soon. Keep healthy, stay safe, keep well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Take care.